Well, my name is Reggie Whitten. I am a lawyer by profession. I got out of law school in 1980. I had a son when I was very young named Brandon. He was born just a few days after I turned 21. And so Brandon and I were quite close, and I ended up being a single father most of his adult or young adult life. And he was such a great kid. If you had told me that my own son, who was a remarkable young man, would become an addict, I would have been offended. I would have said no way, because I raised that boy. At that time, I knew absolutely nothing about addiction. We went through a pattern for about 3 years. On, drugs, off, on, off, on, off. And it was a devastating thing for Brandon. It was a devastating thing for our family. It was just so heartbreaking. I couldn't understand how this boy that I knew so well could behave in such a strange way. It didn't make sense. Valentine's Day 2002, we had a dinner that night. He and I were supposed to get together the next day and watch the OSU basketball game. So on February 15th, he called me and told me, "Dad, I can't be there." And over the 3 years, I had become kind of a walking slur detector machine. I could tell every time he was taking opioids. But I said, "I'll stay right there, I'll be right there." And I hung up on him. And that's the last time I ever talked to him. I got within 100 yards of my house. There was that red truck in front of a mailbox, what used to be a mailbox. And there were bricks all over the roadway. And there was a motorcycle. And I ran up there, and a policeman got me. And I said, "That's my son's truck. What happened?" And they said, "Your son was driving the motorcycle." They picked him up in a helicopter that landed on the golf course, and they took him to OU Medical Center. A couple of days later, we buried Brandon. It was the beginning of a new life for me. Everything changed. So I began to research addiction.
I first met Reggie nearly 20 years ago, tragically after he lost his son Brandon. Over the last 20 years, I truly have watched Reggie dedicate both his personal and professional life to making sure that nobody else loses their life to addiction.
I'm Reggie's daughter. My eldest brother, Brandon, passed away when I was 5, but I grew up in the shadow of his loss, and so I saw how hard this was on my father. I watched my dad not only overcome his personal loss, but decide to help others in their personal battles as well.
He's just an inspiration to so many people I know, and he has a gift for bringing people together and getting us all sort of moving in the same direction.
Reggie created a nonprofit. He's created several, but one of which is FATE, Fighting Addiction Through Education.
This idea of fighting addiction through education, I mean, he does it in his sleep, I bet.
I've learned that addiction is a disease. It's recognized by the medical profession as such.
That's what he does so well, is he tries to teach people that this is a brain disease.
If you invite Reggie to come talk to young people about addiction, he will be there. He's spoken across our state trying to get this message to youth about the dangers of substance use and addiction.
Reggie's about kind of being a mentor, being an educator, and he'd mentor every high school graduate in Oklahoma if time would allow. Reggie, as a boss, is if you're on Reggie's team, Reggie's got your back.
But Reggie also used his professional career as one of the lead attorneys in Oklahoma and the nation's first opioid trial.
And we were very honored to represent the state against Big Pharma over the opioid epidemic. And we were the first case in the country to go to trial.
And to be able to fight on behalf of the state of Oklahoma, for Reggie, it was like a culmination of his legacy in a personal and professional sense.
My interest and my education on the subject of addiction helped me become a better lawyer in that case. I put Julio Rojas on the witness stand to explain the power of addiction, and it's not just bad people doing bad things. And we won that case. I love helping people, but I'm passionate about my nonprofit work, and it has been therapeutic for me.
He comes up with an idea, and he's a heat-seeking missile. Once he locks on, it's over.
His documentary, Killing Pain actually brought the experts from the opioid litigation to people's living rooms.
You know, once I was in a rural community and somebody was talking about the Killing Pain video that they had seen in rehab. The woman said, "You know, watching that video helped me make a mental switch from I'm corrupt, broken, unsalvageable to I'm sick. He's planted so many seeds out there, not just in the state, nationally, internationally. I mean, this guy's everywhere, right? We need people like Reggie.
People see his public work in addiction, the work through faith, but many people don't know that because he's so well known in this addiction space, people personally will drop off their child at his doorstep. They've tried different avenues and this is their last stop.
If Reggie knows someone who is in need of help, particularly if they are a young person, he will work tirelessly to find them the treatment that they need.
And that is one other person that is getting help, and that's one other person that is out of the clutches of addiction.
I wanted to just do prevention, but then I started getting phone calls. And before long, I kind of figured out where to send people. Ultimately, that led to the creation of Arcadia Trails.
Arcadia Trails was an inpatient, sort of revolutionary treatment center that was designed to really address three issues, and that's the intersection of addiction, mental health issues, and trauma.
If it wasn't for Reggie Whitten, if it wasn't for Brandon Whitten, I don't think I'd be alive, and I don't think I'd be doing what I'm doing. I am over 3.5 years sober. The support system I have is, it's so powerful. And that support system includes Terry White, Dr. Rojas. I mean, the counselor I have today, I got from this system that Reggie set up for me.
Reggie is truly a trailblazer because he is a model for every other Oklahoma leader.
There are some fantastic organizations in the state. A Chance to Change is one of those. They're doing absolutely incredible work. They're doing vital work. They need community support.
Together, you can amplify that mission of redemption and show people that it's not a personality flaw, but it is a true disease that deserves redemption, deserves our recognition, and deserves support.
Reggie, you have had a huge impact on my life. You saved my life. I love you. You're like a father to me. And so thank you from the bottom of my heart. And congratulations.
Congratulations, Dad. Brandon would be so proud of everything you've done in his legacy.
Hey, Reggie, my hope is that in getting these awards, we can begin to think about maybe the bulk of our work is done and we can identify younger people who can carry this on.
Congratulations, Reggie. You so deserve this award.